Hey, Amanda, can you? Oh, I think
Have we got
you.
a
Oh,
sound?
there it goes. I think I hear you now.
Yeah, you got me now?
Yes, there you are. And
Nice.
you can hear me okay?
Yes, that sounds
Okay,
good. That sounds good.
perfect.
Yay.
Good to see you.
You too. How are you? You've been
I'm
busy on
good.
the circuit. I hope everything's been
Oh my
going well.
God. Yeah, it's been great. It's just been, yeah, it's been busy, which is good. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, it's nice to see you. I know we've got a lot going on in the background, but really excited for today and had I turned my alarm off.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of promotion. Love how you whipped up your pictures. I told the
Oh,
girls, this is our new standard. This is what we're doing now. It's great. They look
good.
great.
I hope so. I was like, I'll keep everything in line. If y'all just give me access, I'll just plug my face in there. So good.
Fabulous. I was like, oh my God, why aren't we doing that? It's so good.
Thank you
Before I
for
let
that.
everyone in, I'll just make sure that you're all ready and set up. It's pretty easy. We're just like, welcome, hello, housekeeping. Um,
Yeah.
hand it over to you, dive in, share your screen, intro, how you like to facilitate questions, up to you. If you usually just get people to put the hand up or drop it in the chat and you can answer them or take them at the end, whatever works for you. Um,
Yeah, I'm pretty flexible too. I love like as we go through, if do you will you help look at the chat if people ask questions?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, feel free to stop me and jump in and like say, "Oh, so and so has a question." So, um and I can mention that too as well. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool. Just so people know, and then because some people like to just talk, and some people happy to stop and take questions, or usually we'll just wait for a break, and then yeah, I'll keep an eye on the chat if there's anything you think you want me to share in the chat or links or resources. Anyway, I'll keep an eye on there just to help keep the momentum
Yeah.
going. So yeah,
Okay.
no, let's let everyone in, and let's see
And I'll
who's
definitely plan to I'll ask questions or people can ask questions throughout, but I'll definitely leave time for that too. Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah.
And then you've got it recorded as well, right?
And it's recording. Yeah, definitely recorded, and it will be shared in schools.
Okay.
Everyone will have a replay and a copy that I'll aim to get up before the weekend as well. So everyone will have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Hi everyone, just letting everyone in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to see you all. Hello from wherever you are in the world. Nice to see your faces, Ella and Christina. Lovely. Um, just while we're coming in the room, some of you have been to our masterclasses before, and I see some new faces, so that's really exciting. What we do, we just admit a few more people. Everyone's coming in. Look, we always love to see everyone's faces, but we respect that at the time zones, some people are in the car, in bed, doing different things, so that's okay. But if you can, we do love to see you. What we do is we love to hear from you in the chat. We'll take questions at any time through the whole session. You can always put your hand up, and we'll take your questions or drop them in the chat, and we'll keep an eye on that. And just comment and say hello. And we love to hear from you and make this interactive and valuable as possible. I'll hand over in a minute to Katie and she'll dive in, and then we'll just go for it, and we'll make sure we've got time for questions as well. So big welcome to Katy Keene from Katy Keene Co. Welcome. Canva partner, Shares AI partner, and all round just superstar marketer, strategist, and yeah, fresh back from the Canva conference, and really excited to hear from you and share what's new with Canva and what we can do. And I love Katie's approach to a bigger, more strategic kind of approach to it's not just making little image tiles in Canva, but her whole approach to her marketing and her strategy and how she uses it is really awesome and insightful. So really excited. Just hand over to you, Katie, without further ado. Just jump in when you're ready. And yeah, we'll make sure everyone's okay. And in the chat and questions keep coming. So yeah, take it away.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Amanda. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and connect with you, wonderful people. And thank you so much, Amanda, for taking the time to put this together and to host this and allowing me to be a part of it. I'm really excited and I love everything She is AI is working on and just feel very, very fortunate to be a part of it. So thank you so much. And as she mentioned, as Amanda mentioned, um, this will be very conversational. So if you have questions, raise your hand or drop a note or a question in the chat, and she can help take a look at those. And I'll keep an eye out for the hand up too. Sometimes when I'm bouncing around in the screen, I don't always see a hand up or the question, so she'll help facilitate that. But don't hesitate to ask questions because we'll move along through some things. I really want to provide the most value as much as possible, and make sure that you get to learn something new and hopefully learn something to take away that you can play with and test out in Canva. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let me get the presentation going here. I'll start with a presentation, but we'll definitely dive into some like actual opening up Canva and actual diving into the tool as well. Let's see my little screen here. Okay, can y'all see my screen okay and see the presentation? Good. Okay, awesome. Oh, I see. I'm just looking at the chat. Okay, now I see everybody's names in the chat too. Okay, so yeah, don't hesitate to ask questions. So this presentation is called Canva Unlocked, and we're looking at the AI piece of Canva as well, and then really, like Amanda shared, alignment to campaign management. So I focus on, and I'll just hop into the next slide there. So I'm a marketing operations strategist and I'm a speaker trainer on AI. And obviously, as a Canva agency partner, talk a lot about Canva. And I help organizations on a small scale. So we're talking about today will be more small business entrepreneur level and how we can leverage it. And all the way up to enterprise level. So helping large organizations implement Canva strategically across their departments and teams. And that can look like your marketing and communications team, your HR team, your sales team, and just really on an enterprise and larger organization level as well. And with marketing operations, it really is focusing on aligning three things: people, processes, and technology. And the technology side is obviously where I lean into AI and tools like Canva that also has AI capabilities as well to help create that trifecta and that synergy there. So I have my background. I've very much had a very corporate life before this. I've had my agency now for almost 10 years, and I've navigated and grown from there too, from a little bit more of a traditional marketing to really leaning into the marketing operations space, which is my love and my passion and aligning people, processes, and tech. So I lean into the strategy, lean into the infrastructure. And so that's what we'll touch on a little bit today. So you'll hear me say terms like workflows, processes, strategy, alignment. And like everyone that is probably on this call and have been connected to She is AI, empowerment's a big one. So I love the Canva tool because it is accessible. Most of us have used it and or have access to it. So it's an incredibly empowering tool because of the access and the usability, and is one of the reasons that I've been using them since they started. So so let's dive in. So just I enjoy doing these presentations and do a little bit of like an agenda. So we definitely want to look at Canva's AI tools today. We're going to look at how we can use it for streamlining branding, campaign management, creating content faster, and then maximizing your marketing impact. And the AI functionality is embedded throughout the tool, so we'll definitely touch on that as we go through the tool. And one thing I just share really quickly is the importance of branding and marketing and the alignment to that strategy for content creation. And it's really essential for small businesses and organizations to attract their ideal clients and for you to show up in the world authentically and aligned in the work that you do. So when you have that strategic focus on your marketing and your branding, then that can come across in the content you create and things like that too. So as we move through how to do that in a marketing campaign, keeping that strategy approach is really important as well. And not to harp on this too much, but I am, being in this space. So just to recap a little bit and set the foundation for the marketing and branding side. When you think about branding, it's really how you make people feel. It's your identity, your voice, your values, you vibe. I think a lot of people think it's just a logo, but it's definitely more than that. And we'll show you some tools here in Canva in a second on even creating your brand voice. So it's how how you make people feel when you walk away from a conversation. How do you leave them feeling? How are they going to talk about you and your organization, your brand, or your business? And communicate you to other people as well. And marketing is definitely the strategic side. So it's how you actually share your business. So now you have your branding, you understand your voice and how you want people to feel when they work with you or talk with you. How do you put that out into the world. And that leans into the tools and tactics and the strategies as well. And this is that end part, right? Where the tactics are like creating social media, creating an ad, using AI to, for ad placement or something like that. So the actual tactics of getting that out there. So these fundamentals are really important as we look into the strategic side and how to build out marketing campaigns and things like that too. So definitely want to share these to kind of set the tone for some of those things. Now let's dive in a little bit to Canva. So Canva launched over 70 different new features within the tool this year. And this was actually, and so this picture was from the Canva Create event that they do every year. And they, in addition to those 70, over 70 different updates, they also launched these four big ones. And at Canva Create, every year they launch like their big announcement of the biggest updates that they have. So what we'll touch on some of these today. Specifically, the first one is Visual Suite 2.0. The next one on the slide here is design with data. So there's Sheets now in Canva, which is similar to Google Sheets or Excel spreadsheets, where you can use formulas, create rows and spreadsheets and all of those fun things, creating graphs and charts and data. Design with Canva AI. So there's some functionality in that that's been around for a little bit, or if you were a beta, we had access to it even earlier to test out, but now everyone should have that functionality too. And that's just expanded even more. And then also building with Canva Code. So if you've done any coding, this is a really fun one as well. So again, these launched in April of this year and then got rolled out to everybody around May. Some of the things just to clarify that we're going to talk about today, you should have access to in there's different levels of Canva. There's Canva for free, Pro, Teams, and Enterprise. So this functionality is across all of those. There might be limitations with the free version, like lack of space, or similar to other AI tools where you get tokens that you use. There's some of those, like obviously with anything, as you pay more, you get more space, you get more access, things like that. But a lot of these things are available across the board, just at smaller capacities too. And every tool has AI in it and they have it branded when they're whatever their brand is. So Magic Studio is what Canva calls their AI tools. And so again, it's embedded throughout the tool now. So anything you see, say Magic Studio or have these little like, kind of like stars, I feel like that's like the general icon for AI stuff. So anytime you see those, that's a hint for you within Canva that you're using an AI functionality and tool. So to touch on these a little bit more, Visual Suite 2.0, we're going to go deeper into this one. But what's beautiful about this is, and why I really aligned to this for total campaign management, is that previously in Canva, when you create a design, you'd have to create one design for social media over here, one design for a flyer over here, and they were all separate. A presentation over here, a video over here, they were all separate. Now you can actually create all of those in one design. So across the board, you can have a social media post, you can have a flyer, you can have a presentation, and it can all be within one space. And the reason I love this so much is because when you're strategically thinking about creating a marketing series or a marketing campaign, you have the ability to stay in that thought process and create all of the assets at one time in one place. And you can easily coordinate with your team members around all of that content in one design space. And I geek out a little bit on organization, so I'll talk about that at some point too. But that it really also changed the way that I organize my content in a more simplified way as well. So when you're thinking about folders, subfolders, you can be really intentional about how you organize your content in Canva as well. And it's just simplified it even more because you're not saving designs in a bunch of places. The next one is the what we just talked about too, the data and sheets and charts. If we have time, we'll dive deeper into this, but it's really incredible. It's just like using Excel or Google Sheets within Canva. So if you use it for any organization or a lot of social media or campaign tracking, you can build that out in Canva too. And then you can also incorporate charts if you're analyzing data. So you can pull in data now in spreadsheets and you can create visual assets aligned to that data as well, which is really nice because again, it's all in one place. And then Canva AI will definitely touch on this, design, editing, writing. A lot of people don't know that you can write in Canva with AI tools, and we'll show you that too. I'll show you that as well. And then the last one is Canva Code. I'll show you an example, and if we have time, I'll dive deeper into this too. But you do coding in Canva, and the beautiful part about doing coding in Canva is not only does it build the code for you, it puts it in a pretty format automatically. And then you can take that format and put it into a design. And then you can put your logo on it or do different things like that. So it goes from like custom coded to design ready in minutes. So, all right, how are we feeling so far, everybody? Give a thumbs up. Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. So we'll keep going here. This is my little shortcut. I'm going to hop out of the presentation. These are all my little shortcut links, but I have them open. And so can y'all still see my screen okay? I've got a document pulled up. Okay, perfect. So I have all my tabs open to show us things, but what I first want to take you to is actually I'm going to take you to the homepage in Canva. So when you go to Canva and you log in, you are taken to the homepage. You can see designs that I've created here. Let's see if it'll take it to the clear. Yeah, it's just showing me my designs here. But what's newer to the layout is the top part. You see there's now a shortcut for Canva AI, and you have all your different information down here, but you can actually click on Canva AI and it'll show you different things and different ways you can use the AI functionality. I'm going to hop back into this at the very end so we can play a little bit, but I want to make sure and walk through some of the foundational things in Canva that I think when you're thinking strategically about how to use the tool, how these can be helpful. But just to give you kind of the lay of the land here. So this is what you're taken to. You can sort and filter by your designs, templates, and Canva AI, and leverage this as kind of your shortcut here. On the left-hand side, these are your I'm going to minimize that, but these are all your kind of like navigation icons now as well. And the one I want to touch on quickly is brand. So one of the things I see a lot in Canva is that people don't take the time to actually set up their brand kits. So when you click brand, and I just open this up, there's three different sections. And I'll touch on the brand kit specifically and just open up my business. And you can put multiple brand kits in there. But this is so foundational because when we're thinking about our branding and our marketing, we want to make sure we stay aligned to our true brand. And by building out your brand kit effectively, you have this created as a shortcut in your business to leverage in different ways. And so you can add your logos, your color scheme. And the one that I want to touch on, your fonts, the one I want to touch on here is brand voice. So I talked a little bit about how to, we'll show you in a second how to write with AI in Canva. But when you put your brand voice in your brand kit, you can leverage your brand voice. So it makes it, when it creates the content, it helps you create it in your actual brand voice. And if you haven't used this already, it's pretty cool. If you don't have a formal written brand voice, I have a blog that talks about how to create your brand voice in 5 minutes using content you already have. So you can kind of start there. But definitely take time to plug this in and your photos and things like that. And you can even, you'll see these shortcuts throughout Canva as well. There's the little magic tool, and you can try your brand voice in a design. But we'll do it in an actual design too. And these are really helpful. You can add graphics, icons, and all kinds of things as part of your brand kit. So that way you can access all these things very easily when you're creating designs. So just super important, super helpful. You can even link folders to certain areas. So say you had a bunch of photos that for your organization or your business, and you didn't want to have to upload them all. You only use like a handful consistently. You want to just put those here. You can actually link a folder. So when you're thinking about organization and structure, you can link a folder in here to access all your photos and things as well. So you can, if you have more organization and like subfolders underneath that, like maybe your brand has like certain audiences and imagery for those audiences, and you have subfolders underneath, it's a great shortcut for that too. So, all right, I won't harp on this too much, but this is a stickler because I usually see them pretty unfinished. So definitely want to build out your brand kit to leverage for your designs as you move forward. So what I'm going to do now, and I'm assuming everybody's been somewhat familiar with Canva and you have created a design before. You can do that in a couple ways. You can go to create here and you can start with a different design. And I'm just going to go ahead and hop into one that I created just to be time sensitive and to show you the Visual Suite 2.0. So this is the first thing that we talked about as far as the updates that Canva had. So what you're looking at here is a design that I'm already in. And I'll talk to you a little bit about how my workflow and my process goes so you can see why I built it out this way. But as you think about your business and your workflows and creating content or a marketing series, think about how that would work for you, and you might build this out slightly different. So a lot of times I'll And so this is the actual blog that I wrote about how to define your brand voice in 5 minutes. And so what I was thinking at that time is that my mind works as like, oh, I want to create this blog and I want to create this resource for people to access. And then it's so important when we create content, we want to have the ability to repurpose it and leverage it multiple times, multiple ways, just for effective marketing and to get it out there in front of people. And that's kind of one of the terms they say in marketing, multiple times, multiple ways. And so now with Visual Suite 2.0, you can see at the very bottom, I started with a document design and then I put in the blog that I wanted to create for this. But then at the bottom, you can see there's a whole bunch of other assets aligned to this particular series. And so on that, I have another, excuse me, document slide and where I dropped just some of the images in that I had created with AI that I wanted to use for this series and this campaign or this series of content. And then in the same place, I created a different size design because I want to post it as a blog, and my website has a certain size imagery that I need to use for my blog header. So I have that. And then, oh, I want to also convert it into a LinkedIn page or LinkedIn article. So now I use that same, in the same space, create another design that has the same imagery to stay aligned. That's the size for the LinkedIn article. And then obviously, then I'm going to post social media. So now I've created a new design for that. And then, so I did that a few times. I did on the next page, I broke this out so you could see it. I also created the social media copy in here. So now I have that as well. And you can also schedule from Canva to schedule your social media. So you can schedule that through here too. And so you get the idea as we scroll over. I did a carousel, I did a video. But what I really want to show you is then how we do that. Um, but in doing this process, what's so beautiful is like that's how my mind works. It sometimes starts with a blog, create the content, and then I have it on the series. I can save this whole thing as a template. And so if that's how my process and my brain works to create the content, then I just go to this template and I do it again for a different series of content. And if you want to add a new page in a different format, just instead of clicking just the add page, you click the drop down, and that's that little visual. It'll give you all kinds of different options. So, say now I want to create a whole presentation with this. I can simply click presentation, and it's going to open up that template, or excuse me, that page in the size of a presentation. And from there, I can either pull in templates from my brand design, and that's why it's so important to have your brand kit set up. Because if you have brand templates, you can pull it in from there so you don't have to start from zero. Or you can convert one of these other pages and pull content from it right into that presentation. So you can do all kinds of things. We'll just do another social media one. It gives you a shortcut. You can do a reel, or maybe if we want to do another post. So now it's already available to us. And again, going back to the brand kits, if you have your brand kit set up and I click that here, you can see I've got my brand templates I can choose from. I've got my color scheme I can choose from. I've got my visual assets. I can generate something with my brand voice directly in here. So let's say I want to do like, you know, y'all get the idea. I'm going to show you this in another part, but you can, start writing something. And this is where what's really cool too, if you have different brands or sub brands, you can actually select those different brand voices because you can create different brand kits for each one. So it's just showing me mine. This is the one I've selected, but if you have others, it can pull that through too. So what I want to do here is just show you my brand kit. And then let's say I want to do a video template. So I am going to pull in I know this one's one of my video templates, or I can expand it to see all, and I can literally search for social if I type it correctly. And so I'll just grab that. And, oh, did I click it? Let me see. Oh, there it is. And so it shows me the multiple pages that I have in this template. I can click all of them or apply all 7, or I can just grab one of those. And now I can take this video out and I can convert the text to say, transform this text, and I can prompt anything I want. Or if I want to use magic text and I can rewrite, I continue writing. There's a bunch of different options here. So I can just convert it into something completely different. And then it's a nice shortcut, and it's on brand, and it's aligned, and it's a part of this series, to make that so much easier in that process. All right, any questions so far?
Katie, yeah, just a couple of questions. People just want to make sure what you're showing
Yeah,
us. Is this a document? How did you get there? We just want to make sure we know the space that you're in right now,
yeah.
how you got
Okay.
there, and that you just come in here, make a document, and you just add pages. I just think we just want to make sure we're really clear.
Yeah. So I'm going to take us back to the home page. And so I'll just take a step back here. Okay. So when you log in, you can do this from the create page and simply click create. And you can start with a document. You can start with anything you want, really, because once you're in the design, you can pick whatever pages you want to add. So you can just simply click document and it's going to take you into a new design. And so that's the first one was the one and I'm just going to change the view. So there's some different views. So this was like the very first page that I had and the one that I showed you that was complete. It was a document. This is where I had the blog um and then the next page you can select social media post and pick what you want. And then you can see it shows up here. And you can pull in your different assets. So if you have like folders that have the designs that you already want to use or something like that, you can access those folders here. And that's why like the organization piece is so helpful. Um, and that's how you get to this place. Another way to do it, again, if you save your design. So let's see, I think I have this one saved, but I'll just show you here.
In that
Um,
document, Katie, because you have
yeah, yeah.
a file with all different sizes in there, where I thought you could only have a one document in one size, you have another document for another size, but you've put in a whole bunch of different landscape and portraits all in one collection. Did you do that
Yeah, yeah,
document like by adding pages like this one?
yeah,
Yeah, you just add them
yeah,
in. Yeah,
yeah,
perfect. Is this
yep.
available on the
So
free version or is this just the paid account that all this functions? Someone's just asked, is that
this
okay?
should be in the free one as well.
Cool.
That the visual suite, this accessibility should be in the free one also.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I'm just going to change the view so you can see it a little bit more. So there's different views down here at the bottom. So I'm going to do the grid view. And this is where you can really see the different sizes, right? And I named them so I can see them very easily. So this is my blog. It's a document. This is my web page. It's an image that's the appropriate size for my website image. This is a LinkedIn article, and I even type the size in there so I know it. So then I always have it. And then your social media posts, and you have that size as well. And you can see that they're all different for the different usage. And that's what I mean with it when you're creating a series of content. So that's the beauty of, when you create content, whether it's a blog, starting with a blog article or a social media post, it's so helpful to think about how many different ways you can create that content and leverage it when you create it. So this is just a great way to do that in here. Does that help answer the questions, or did y'all have anything else about that?
Yeah, no, that's great. I think so would you save this as a project or folder? So then I guess you'd save this document and it would be you'd file it under its own folder or it would be a project or something. Someone's just asking how you would then file this, I guess,
Yeah.
to that. But yeah.
Yeah, so in on the I'm taking us back to the home screen again. So projects are your folders essentially. And I the way I think about it, and I think it's important to think about your business. So projects are here and you can sort and filter by folders, designs, brand templates. I usually default to like thinking about it from folders. So I think about it like from a 30,000 foot view and really like and I'll just go back in here. So thinking about folders and organization as a 30,000 foot view is like, okay, for simplicity's sake, I think about, okay, marketing, that's what this falls under. And then you have subfolders underneath that. Like it could be, 2025 marketing or something like that. And then within your marketing, year, you could have, my brand voice series or something like that. So you go from high and just, it's really important too to have like a naming formula and naming system in place because then you can search anywhere in Canva as well. So a lot of times, and we've probably all experienced this, right? Where you get professional pictures from an event and you drag them and you put them into a folder somewhere and they're named 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picture and you never can find them again. So it's so important to have a naming system so that you have the ability to search for this stuff again and put them in folders that are organized so that you can go find this content and find this information. So I'm trying to think of another folder I could show you. I definitely want um, some of this is client stuff too. So, but I would think about it that way. I would think about like how do you organize your content? Like, it could be your marketing, you could be your um and you can, just break that down in different ways and have your marketing campaigns, maybe if you're doing like different series and strategic, like maybe you're creating stuff for your pillar content, you want to organize it that way. So this design would live in a folder. And I think, does it show? And you can, when you're in a design, you just simply go to folders and you can move it to a folder to help it organize it directly from there, which is a really nice shortcut. So just being intentional about that with your naming and then your organization, because when you do go to Canva and you just search, you can search for your designs, your templates, and you can search for content. When you go to your projects and you search by folders, you're always going to have these search features that are so, so helpful. So like I can type brand voice and it is going to pull, my marketing series document, the one that we're looking at. It'll show you your folders and it'll show you your designs too, which are really helpful.
Katie, one more question. Would you consider making this document could act as like a swipe file that you could then share with other people? Can they get the assets like out of it and then download them and share those? Would that be effective as opposed to maybe a Trello board or another swipe file or something like that? Do you
For who would
for
this be
share
for?
for sharing with like members or clients or someone else that wanted to take this content and share it? Would that be effective or would you?
Yeah, I think it depends. So if it's um a swipe file is in like, I mean, I guess it depends how they're going to use it. So I'll just say this. If you want to share this design with somebody so that they can use it for their business or this template, if you will, then there's multiple ways that you can share that too, share designs. And if you're sharing this with them so that they can then use it as a template, they would also need to have access to Canva. So that would just be the one thing to consider if that's what you mean.
Yeah, or
If
you
you
could
want to,
if you wanted to share it with a lot of people who literally want to take these pictures and share it on their social media, you could then share it as like a template link or something like that, so everyone can just grab it because we obviously don't want to add people into Canva, but they could have the link to access it, to view it, download it, and share these files.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Right. Because yeah, you don't want to have to add people. You don't have to add people to Canva, your a Canva account to then get them. So there's a lot of ways to share content in Canva, which is really helpful. So I'm going to click on the share button here and you can download, you can create a public view link. So even if you want somebody to see this presentation, for example, but you don't want them to edit it, this public view link, it's just a view of a presentation. And you can create videos in Canva. So I can do like a talking head. I'll show you all that too. Um, and I can actually show you how I do proposals because that's how I kind of do that part of it. I'm going to click on see all, but you can do it as a brand template. And so that's one thing I wanted to show you too. When you build things in Canva, you can save it as a brand template. So that way you don't have to when I went to the homepage and clicked the little X button and I started from a document, you don't have to do that every time. If this is your process and this is your workflow, you build this out once and then you can save it as a brand template. And that way you just plug and play every time. Do the public view link, you can share it again as a template link. So that's what I think what your question was too. And if when you see a little like crown star kind of thing, that means that it's a pro and above feature. So just so you're aware, Canva does little shortcuts like that to help people understand what's kind of like at a different tier level. But you can create a template link, and so that way you can share it out and people can grab it and use it. And you can then make a copy of it, and then they'll make a copy of it. It'll go into their Canva account and they can edit it from there. And you can actually, like at the higher level plans, you can lock elements. So, if you want to lock the She is AI logos in certain places and the brand colors so people don't change things, you can do that too. And so there's a lot of like cool functionality with that. But these are some great ways to share. You can embed designs, create QR codes and things like that from those. You can even publish pages and publish a website through Canva. So you can publish an individual design as a website, or you can create like a scrolling website in Canva too. And that way you have it as a link. And there's just a lot of different download opportunities. And again, if you link your social accounts, you can schedule social media from Canva as well. And another one people don't understand is that you can actually print stuff through Canva, directly through Canva. They partner with local printing companies. And so you can get it shipped directly to your house too, which is super cool.
Yeah. Two questions, Katie, just on that. So someone just said, often we open a template and it goes print. I was like, no, I don't want to print. I want to use the template digitally. So understand, like, yeah, so they've partnered with some templates are obviously for printing and some are just for digital. So the function's cool, but yeah, and how that worked. What was the exact question? Sorry.
Yeah. Are,
Um, yeah, because I even go into one and I was like, that's a cool template. And it says print only. And I was like, no, I don't want to use it digitally. It's like, so there's no way to
oh,
like download it as opposed to print it in some certain templates are obviously set up to be print designs only and some aren't and things like that. I don't know
oh,
if you
where,
know
well,
how that
I'm not
works.
sure I'm not
Hmm.
sure I've seen that. Or what, did you go from like templates from like
Yeah,
just
it's like
searching?
design, and I go template, and I go business card, and I open a business card, and I think that looks cool. I open it, and it goes print them now, and I was like, no, I just want a digital business or something. It was a flyer or something. I don't know what it was,
Yeah.
but, in some cases. And then someone said, can you allow to print to local, or they're just set to obviously print on demand suppliers that you go through, obviously.
Yeah, well, first I would take a step back to say any design template in Canva, if even if it comes up like this where it says like, "Oh, you can print it," you want to go to customize this template because it's not telling you it's only made for printing.
Ah,
It's
so is
just
it? Are
it's
you
just giving it's a sales thing, right? They're saying like print now. Well, you can print this. So all you do is go to customize template and it'll take you into that design. And that's just exactly the space that we're in. And we can change it, we can do whatever we want. Um, and then it'll still give you the options to print, but you don't have to pick any of that. You just close it out, and then you still have the share. The share button's always up here. So that's where you just download it.
cool. Ah, and
Yeah.
someone says, would
Okay.
you print this? Maybe if you had a print design, you could take that to a local store and print it out.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, just take
Yeah.
the file and take it to your local
Yeah.
store. Like we'd just download the file, right?
Yeah.
Share
If
it with
you
them
click on
on
share,
email, share, download it onto a USB stick, take it into We Have Stationery, print it out. Yeah.
yeah, if you click download, it'll give you the options on how you want to download it. So PNG file's great for like, a high res thing and digital stuff. JPEG's lower. And you just click the drop down and there's a PDF standard or there's a PDF for print. And there's even yeah, SVG, and then it can get into video and other things too. So you can even download PowerPoint, but you can present from Canva. So I don't really even use PowerPoint anymore. But for printing, you can pick the PDF printing, and you can do a version. What I do for clients, I do one with crop and bleed marks. If I'm sending it to a professional printing company, they'll want this. You can flatten and include. Include notes is new, but it'll give you little like shortcuts to help you describe and what that is. But the PDF for print, and then it'll give you shortcuts too, telling you like what color profile is RGB is best for digital, and then CMYK is best for professional printing. And again, you see that little icon, so you know that's like an upper tier feature in here. And then you can download it, and it downloads it as a PDF. You can save it on a USB or email it to a company to print, or take it to them to print.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Katie, just jumping in again. And what other tools do you think that Canva's now doing the job of, like PowerPoint, obviously, Word documents? How do you see the Canva's taken the role of what other software we might be able to do without, or that you've found yourself using this instead of?
Yeah. That's an incredible question, and why I'm very excited about Canva because of its accessibility and because of the functionality that it has. So, um, one of the things, so I'm going to show you this part. So, quick answer. So, we have Excel. Essentially, we have spreadsheets in here. So, you don't necessarily have to use Google Sheets or Excel spreadsheets if you don't want to. Um, Loom is another one. A lot of people do videos. I'm going to show you all that in a second. There's functionality to do videos in Canva, recording yourself and doing captions with AI within Canva. So, video functionality is in Canva, and even like whether it's a video of just me speaking or if it's a video of just my head talking head and I'm recording my screen and navigating, you can do that in here as well. So that's kind of very Loom like, right? um, any of the other video capabilities. They also have a lot of collaboration functions. So when you're thinking about using like a Google Drive or OneDrive or something like that, or Dropbox to collaborate on an idea or a project, you can actually do that in Canva too. And they have whiteboards, sticky notes, things like these, like, brain dumping spaces where you can like collaborate with your teams. I'm going to hop into this So when you're thinking about like Word documents, there's documents in here, so you can kind of do that in here. Um, Power, like I don't use PowerPoint anymore, and this is the presentations in Canva are so incredible. And you actually don't have to be online. That was a thing for a while to do a presentation in Canva. I've done all presentations for my clients in Canva. You can actually present offline and online as well. So from a tech standpoint, it's still very functional because a lot of times people would have the USB, save the PowerPoint on it, plug it into the laptop. But at an event or something, you can actually log on online, or if you download it offline and have it accessible, it's essentially like using that little USB. So you can do that. And it's really nice because a lot of times you'll have a lot of your designs inside or the graphics or visuals inside Canva. So you're pulling them in way easier than like email me that photo and now I have to add it into PowerPoint and that kind of thing. So it's taking the place of some of that collaboration when you're thinking about like a Microsoft PowerPoint and then OneDrive sharing documents. Um, Trying to think of other things like even local printing companies. Like I print a lot through Canva and I print for my clients through Canva. So even if I'm doing their designs in here and I can just say, hey, do you want me to ship that to you? And it'll come through Canva. So that makes it really easy. And they partner with local printing companies. So it's quick. So it's still that same effective type of experience. Um, Also, will if having time dive into some of the AI functionality. You can do AI videos, you can do AI images, coding. So some of the functionality that you're seeing in your chat GPTs and some of the other tools, like it can be in here as well. And some of that is the back end of this. So kind of a little long-winded, but it has a lot of features in there that are in other tools now, and that's why Canva is really positioning itself not just as a creativity tool, but also a productivity tool. And now it's both. So you're making beautiful stuff, but you're doing it, you're collaborating and being productive in a all in the same space. Um, and I'll show you this too, as far as the collaboration. I'm in a document. This is my drafted blog. I can actually add comments like you would in a Google Doc or OneDrive, like a Word document or even a PDF. You can leave a comment. You can tag people. You can tag your team members. So I can tag me and say, please review. Um, and that all of that kind of thing, and you can assign it to people that, and so you simply add that and then it'll notify them the way other collaborative tools, project management tools do as well. So that's really really cool. And for the higher level versions of Canva, you can actually create approval workflows. So if your process ever looks like I create this, I send it to my designer, I review it, you can build out that approval process. So you ultimately it comes back to you for approval. So that's leaning into some of your project management tool functionality as well when it comes to the designing side. Um, so kind of fun there. And I'm just going to delete this one. Um, so yeah, I hope it helps answer that question because I think especially for like organizations that are very lean or entrepreneurs, like there's so much functionality in here, and you really it's all about alignment to the work that you do too. If you are a professional video maker, you are going to use professional video tools. If you are not a professional video maker, which I am not, everything I need is in Canva for that. And I'm going to do my best to be as lean as possible and cost effective as possible, leveraging the tools I have access to. So I'm just really leaning into that and the accessibility of it. Um, One thing I wanted to, does that help answer the question there? Or anything else on that one? Okay, I'm getting some head shakes. Awesome. One thing while we're in the blog area that I've drafted, a couple of things here when you think about your workflow. Like I have custom bots that I've created in ChatGPT that do certain writing things for me and whatnot. You can always start there and copy and paste that into here, or you can write directly in here, either way. So however it aligns for your process and workflow. But once you get to that finalized document, you can use it the way you would in like a chat GPT. Like typically I would say, write me a blog, this is what I'm focused on. It's customized to me because I do it in my custom bot. But then I say, okay, give me 3 social media posts to go along with it. You can do that in here too. So I've highlighted my text. Let me see. I'm going to make sure I highlight all of it. And I do different things. Like I do a lot of videos as well. So I'm going to highlight the whole video, all of this, my blog. And then the little icon Magic Write pops up. and it gives me that shortcut. So I can transform the text. I can rewrite it. Say like, I love it, but I want to write it shorter. I want to extend it, stuff like that. So you have your shortcut here. If I want to change the voice or something like that and apply a different brand voice. So I'm going to transform the text and it allows me to prompt anything. So say, please, well, I don't even, we just need to say, please create a social media post for LinkedIn. And I'm going to do that. And you can obviously get more descriptive as well, but it's going to take the current copy and it's going to write that social media post for you. So now again, you're in the same space where you're creating your graphics, you're creating your written copy, things like that. And I may look at this and I may want to edit some things, or I'm like, that's kind of long. I can say more like this and get it to reiterate another version. Or I can say, hey, I like this, but let's make it more exciting or something like that. Or let's make it shorter. Or let's include my call to action, put my link to my website here. And then once you have it where you want it, you can either copy the text and paste it wherever you want without through any of these pages. You can add it below this wording. So you could literally have, and this is me just thinking about a workflow. If you have a copywriter and you're like, I want to write all the copy for this entire campaign before I create visuals. So now you have this running document. This document goes as long as you want it to. So, all right, I have my blog, and maybe just beneath it, I put my social media copy, and just beneath that, I write my video script. So you have all of your copy in one place before you start doing the visual assets. So it just, thinking about workflows, and I can add it below, or I can replace what I've already written. So I'm just going to click out of that because I'm not going to change anything. And just as an example, I did a video script. I do a lot of videos. So from this blog, I asked it to do a short video script, gave it a certain amount of time I wanted to use and things like that. So you can just continue, continue, continue. And here's the social copy for the video that I created. And you can just continue iterating like you would in other AI tools as well. Um, awesome. What do y'all think so far of that? Kind of cool? Well, not a lot of people are using the AI writing part of it. So.
It's very cool. Yeah, even I haven't got into that properly. It's amazing. Everyone's just really impressed by that in the video making and editing, and maybe even using Canva instead of CapCut or something like that, and just the whole brand kit, brand voice, documents, even as simple as it is. I think we're just a few of us aren't even thinking about using this.
I know,
There's a
I know. And
question from
Days.
Christine too, guys. There's a question from Christine. She said, "Is this what you're doing right now, Katie, only for paid member?"
only for, sorry, what was the question? Is this what I'm doing for?
You mean paid Canva account? Or this should be, is that what you mean, Christine?
Yes, yes. I was just curious whether or not paid members are have this functionality or have access to it, or is this only for, is it accessible through the free accounts, basically?
There is some, so I mentioned that in the beginning too. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to just do the pricing. There's a page, it's their pricing page. If you scroll down, it'll give you the breakout of everything that's in their different tiers. So you have Canva free. Here, I'm going to show it to you too. So there's Canva for free, Canva Pro, Canva Teams, and Enterprise. I'm in Canva Teams, but you can see these little icons. Those are the ones throughout Canva that are only going to be part of that. If you see this little crown, it's only a part of one of those three. But if you scroll down, and you can compare features, and you can literally click that button and you can just see what's available. And specifically, like they do a nice job breaking it out. So AI powered design tools. And you can see that the free version has a lot of things. And there's limitations on some of the more extensive ones. But the pro account is $120 per year. So it's really cost effective when you think about what you get for it.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
I'm
a
a paid
place to
member.
definitely check out.
Yeah, I'm a paid
Yeah.
member, but I was thinking maybe for someone that doesn't pay, to kind of get them excited about using that functionality.
Yeah, I mean it's incredible and it's really accessible. If you're already in Canva and leveraging it, it's an easy, it's just an easy one to jump in and dive deeper into. Um, and I'm just going to drop that link in the chat for anybody that needs it. Um, but one thing I want to make sure we can, there's so many things to show you guys. So I'm just trying to keep it high level, but I geek out a little bit on some of this stuff. The one thing I do want to touch on is video because that's a question I get so much from people that don't use it. Let me close out some of my 1,000 tabs. Okay. I'm going to go back into the brand voice design here and just show you, I pulled in some of my templates my brand templates just to show you, these videos. Here's a little wild in that one, but, these are some templates that I pulled in, and just to show you, I recorded these videos inside Canva and put them in my design. And I even like these 4 pages, or let's see, what are the 5 pages? This is a video series. I pulled that template in from my brand kit. I did a new video of myself talking about this topic and plugged it into these pages. And now I can download that section individually as its own video. And that was one of my social media posts. And that's another great thing to point out too. Like, we're creating all these assets under this series of content, but if you only want to download a page or two, or only 5 pages that represent the video, you pick those pages. So when you click share and you go to download, say I want to download my video, and then I click my video, and it allows me to pick the pages. I just highlighted the pages I wanted, let's see, no, it selected all of them. But I can select current page, or I can literally go through and just click the ones that I want. So it's only going to click, or it's only going to download the video ones, right? Does that make sense, that are appropriate to download as a video? So, and then again, this series, I did a video of me talking about the topic, and then I also did a video of me actually walking through the screen, and it recorded my screen and me talking. So, and just to show you where that is, when you're in a design, if you go to uploads, you can click record yourself. And when I click that, I can pick record a talking head, and it's going to take me into a new screen. And because my camera is connected to this Zoom call, it won't show my face. But what it would do is show my face here, and you can see it hears me. And you can either choose in the top right camera, or camera and screen. So then you can pick the screen that you have open and literally like talk about that screen. So right now it won't do it because I'm scared. I'm sharing my screen when the Zoom, and it's not showing my face because my camera's in the Zoom. But you can click record, and it'll give you your countdown. And then I can just start talking, and it's going to record me because I'm talking into it. And this is really awesome. And it's so much fun. And Canva is so cool. And then I can just pause when I'm done and click done, and it'll save that. And I can just save and exit. And it takes a minute, but it just populates my video right here. And that's how I did this one. And it's so incredible because now I'm not going to another tool to create a video. I'm not, I can do it in here if I don't want to do it on my phone. If you do a video on your phone, you can drop that in here just like you would an image. But if you want to do it in here, you don't have to leave it. So you can detach your video from the little circle, and you can put it anywhere in the design. So there's just a lot of flexibility around it, and play with that a little bit. Even have some filters you can use. So,
Amazing.
yeah, so that's another one. Yeah.
Katie, can you share only a Canva screen? You can share any tab, record any tab. It doesn't just have to be in Canva, right? We understood that correctly. Like, what can we film? Anything? And then chuck it in here.
Oh, I'm not sure I'm following.
We're recording the screen, right? And we want to talk them through some other page.
Yeah.
And then we just take that takes that recording and sticks it in here. Sorry to be
Yeah,
late,
it just
but
like,
have we got that? Understand?
yeah. It drops it just like this. You see how this is exactly what I did with that. I was talking about this website page, and it pulls it in. These 2 assets, these 2 videos is what got pulled in. So this is my video, and this is me talking about it. And they pull in as 2 videos, and I'm going to show you in a presentation view.
Awesome. And then obviously make that any size and format to export to share
Yeah.
anywhere,
So
right?
think about, yeah. So thinking about also, I didn't touch on this earlier, but the question around like what this could potentially replace when you're thinking about recording training videos. Like I do a lot of times for clients, if I build out any template stuff for them, I do a training video and I can record that. Or if you do YouTube training videos or something like that, you have a YouTube format and you do your video in here and you record your screen, and it's all done completely in here. You can add, and also when you do video, you can add captions. All the captions are done through here as well.
Amazing. So I was just thinking it's like
Right
Loom.
here.
If I wanted to do this instead of a Loom for a training video for school, or someone wants
Yeah.
to do a little YouTube clip. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only limitation I've found around that is that you can't, when you share the video, you can't download it. Like somebody externally can't download it. That was the only, you know what I mean? If you share Loom video, people have you can turn that on or off. Like you can allow people to download it or not. That functionality isn't on here. But that hasn't been an issue for me. So it just kind of depends on what you do because they'll have the link and if you make it, public and you share the link with them, they can access the video anytime they want.
Yeah, that's
So,
cool. So
yeah.
is it going to be shared as like a PDF format with the video in it, a video embedded in like a PDF if you download it that way, or just download as an MP4? Are there limitations around?
I think that may depend a little bit on because you can plug any video into a document and download it like that. I think that might depend on what version of Adobe you have when you open the PDF. And somebody else may be a little bit more savvy with that, but I know some different versions of PDFs depend on Adobe if you can edit them and do different things if you paid for something like that. Um, but I don't know. I mean, I could download this one and see it, download it as a PDF.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's just if Adobe allowed that rather than a Canva would you allows you to download
Right.
PDF, it's just a free
Yeah.
data.
Yeah.
I
But you could
understand.
share this as a link and the video would play. You could share it as a link somewhere. You can, and I know in your typical standard, PDF documents, you can download them as a PDF and hyperlink everything. I hyperlink with stuff all the time in my PDFs, and that's like a pretty standard functionality. So that always works well. Um, I'll just see what this, oh, it gave me a little warning and I just clicked out of it, but it'll give you little pop-ups and stuff here and there sometimes too. One thing I want to share with y'all, I do videos sometimes for my proposals, which is kind of cool. So like I have a client proposal template that I use. Okay, I just downloaded it as a PDF and I don't pay for like a fancy version of Adobe and it did not create a video for me. So again, I don't know if that's a limitation on my level of Adobe. Um, but it could be. So as an example, this is a live link, right? So it's a live link. It's not in my edited format. So I could share this link. I created this proposal template. And what I do is I put a personal video in there of me talking to the client. So, and I think you can hear this one. Oh, maybe not. Oh, I don't think you can, but it's me going, hi, client. I had a wonderful conversation with you. I'm really excited to present this proposal. I feel really aligned with the work we're doing together, and I'm excited to share this with you. You'll see on the next 3 pages, yada, yada, yada. And it really creates this like nice personal experience. And I do these little calls to action, and then they can click through and see like, are my overview of what that looks like. So there's really cool ways that you can play with content and things in Canva and share it. So this is just a simple link, and then I send it as an attachment as well. But I find that people really enjoy like clicking the link and having this personal experience, which is cool. What else? Okay, there's so many things to talk about, y'all. I want to like talk more. I know we only have like 4 minutes, but in those 4 minutes, I'm going to show you some of the AI stuff, which I feel like this we have to talk about. So we've talked about a couple of AI things within the tool, and I just want y'all to be aware, how accessible some of the AI functionality is within here, within while you're designing. So going back to the homepage and where I encourage you to play, and if we ever do like a version 2 of this, Canva AI is up here. And they've done a really nice job to give you shortcuts to help guide you on different things. So create a video clip, code for me, draft a document, create an image, create a design. So you can click on these and it'll prompt you even further. So maybe I want to create an image. So it changes all the things down below. These are the images that I've created. And so it has my history here. I can search for things. But maybe I want to create a new image and it gives me shortcuts on the style I might want to create, or I can type it into the prompt. I don't have to select anything. Go ahead and give it to me in the design or the size that I want and that kind of thing. Also, you can add media, either upload it or recent images you've created, and it can reference those. So very similar to other design tools we're using today, right? So I want it to be in this style and I upload that image or things like that. So for any of the creatives, some of these little shortcuts should be pretty familiar. And this is where I create some of the designs that are part of my series. I'll go in here, I'll create some different like imagery that I want for my series, something like that. So that way, when I have my wording, I pull in all these designs that are aligned and have the similar style and function. And that's where I get a little bit particular and a stickler on making sure you have your brand, your marketing, so that you, when you create your assets, it really speaks to who you are. Because what I'm seeing a bit of is that there's a lot of imagery created for some of the same spaces, and I'm seeing different brands with imagery that looks the same. And so just keeping that in mind, like you are your brand, knowing that truth and aligning to that, and that human-led AI part where you're really leaning into the speaking the truth coming from you, your brand, your persona, all of those things, and sticking with that. So do that in your creation too of the graphics and things. Um, what else? Within 30 seconds, I'll show you Canva code. So you can you can have Deanna's laughing at me. So under Canva AI, you can code for me. And I'm going to take you here. It takes a minute to do it, so I'm not going to do that here. But what I want to show you is like it gives you shortcuts if you just want to test it. And it gives you ideas so that you can think about, oh, do I want to create a quiz or a code or something like that? One thing I've done that I'll pull up here, I'm in a new tab. This is a design that I've created, and I published it as a public link. So we're looking at the public link that I've created of the Canva quiz of the design. So one of the questions I get, and this is leading into like your branding and the work you do and things like that. I get a lot of questions from clients or individuals. Do I need Canva Teams or I need Canva Enterprise? And so this is the larger scale Canva groups. So I created a quiz that will walk them through questions to help them rate themselves on what level or which one they should go towards, Teams or Enterprise. When I create the code in Canva, it builds it automatically and creates this design. And I can use it in a design where I then added my logo and added the Canva agency partner logo and things like that. So I'm okay. I know we're at time. Do you want me to walk through this, or do you want me to stop and just let y'all need to play and play with it?
Everyone all right to have a look at this for a minute? Yeah, go for
Okay.
it. If
Okay.
wants to
I'll
say,
walk through it really.
please continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's happy to just keep going and yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to walk through this very, very quickly, but all it did was ask 15 questions on somebody that's considering Canva at this level. What are how are you using the account? Yes, we need automatic licenses. There's a lot of functionality on the corporate size things. We have multiple teams and departments, basic sharing, somewhat important. So we'll just walk through some of these. And it's basically taking them through the quiz and grading them on which tool would be the best for their organization. All right, and see results. So then it takes them to the final page and it tells them that your results are ready. I've even built in a form to make them fill out and created that in a way so that they have to fill in their information. And then I agree to be contacted and then show my results. And so it literally gives them a breakdown and a recommendation because I prompted it to grade them on the back end in a way that will help them match in the different categories of whether they need Canva Teams or Canva Enterprise. And so it literally tells them 40%, 47% Teams and 47% Enterprise. So I could go either way. But it grades them on the different category background and the top features. And then I can build in whatever buttons and links or anything that I want to at the bottom. So I told it that this is the call to action I wanted at the bottom, and I want it to schedule I want the button to go to my meeting link, and so that's where it takes them to schedule a call with me. So that's really, really cool. And all it took was prompting in Canva, and it took a few iterations. But like most AI tools, you'll have your prompting area, and then you'll have the development area, and you can literally see it writing the code for you. And then when it's done, it pops up in a pretty format, and you can actually walk through and test it. And like all AI, right? We need to test it. So then you walk through it and you're like, ooh, I hate question 6, or I don't like the colors. Redo that and modify the way that it looks or the way that it's prompting, or that button didn't work or something like that. So you prompt it till it's ready and click use in design, and then you're good to go on leveraging it. Okay, so I wanted to show that part too. And we didn't get to dive into some of the sheets and things, but you have a good overview and you know where to go to like play with some of the AI functionality. So I just want y'all to really enjoy that and hopefully it's helpful. I'll just share my information here at the end if you want to grab anything. Make sure to connect with me on LinkedIn if you're there. Um, but yeah, any other questions or thoughts? I'm trying to be conscious of time, Amanda, but thank y'all for the last few minutes. I get excited about sharing these things. So, and I want to show all the things and it's hard, right? For any tool, it's hard.
Oh, so much to pack into an hour. I think the last question was to just actually go and code that quiz. I guess it's a whole other thing about how to build that and where you went to actually create that, but it's very cool. Um,
Yeah.
and just yeah, thank you, awesome. Hope there's a part two. Do you want to do a part two? More dive and like more questions about because there's just so many things to cover.
Mm.
Is there one takeaway when a few of us are like, oh, look, we'd love to just implement all this stuff? Where do you start to just go, oh, let's make this part of our daily process? So we all walk away. One, set up your brain kit. Great. Two, make documents,
Mhm.
think about this. What would you say are our takeaways to actually go and operate like you do?
Yeah. And this isn't one that's the fun part, but I would say think about your strategy before an organization, right? I know you're laughing because it's like, no, that's the boring part. We want to make the cool stuff. But the more foundational stuff you set up front, the easier it's going to be to create the cool stuff in alignment with your strategy and your brand. So think about your folder organization, and it doesn't have to be rocket science. You can change it over time, but think about your folder organization. Definitely, like you said, set up the brand kit. Um, really lean into like your brand voice and things like that as well. And your marketing strategy when you think about like your target audience and those really foundational things, because then as you build out and use the Canva tool, it'll stay aligned to those strategic pieces. Um, and you can start small. Like what I showed you was a process of creating content, all these things. But if you're like, you know what, I just want to create social media posts for LinkedIn, then start there and create a template for that. Leverage that template, find ones that you like, and apply your brand kit to those so it stays true to your colors and all of that, your voice, and just start small. It doesn't have to be like an extensive template, but that's available. So when you're ready to build to that, you can too. And I think that's what's incredible about this tool is that it can expand as you expand as well. So
So that's really awesome. Yay! Thank you,
yeah.
Katie. I think that's all from us. Just like a lot of awesome thank yous. And can we please have a
Thank
part
you,
two?
Katie.
But yeah, thank you
So
so
good.
Thank you.
much.
Oh, it's great to see familiar
Thank
faces too.
you.
So
That
thank
was
you for joining.
fantastic.
Good.
Thank you so
Good,
much.
good. You're so welcome. Happy to do it.
Thank you.
No,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much, Katie, for your time. And everyone, this recording is going to be in school. I think most of you in school, but if you're not, please just go into She Is AI community. In the school app, you can search us or at the links on our website under community. The recording will be in there, and we'd love to invite Katie to do a part two and just real more deep dive and questions and looking at getting into more things because I think this is so valuable in a follow up to see us actually implement some of this and action it and further out use of Canva because there's just so many cool new tools in there. But I think even I picked up a couple of tips today, so it's super cool.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
yeah. So thank you so much, Katie. And hopefully in school you'll be able to drop in and we'll have a thread in the replay and people might be able to ask you questions in there too.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Well, thank you so much for joining. Glad it was helpful, and I look forward to keeping in touch with everybody.
Thank you. All right. See you all
Yeah.
later.
Thank you.
Coming.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.
Bye.